So there was pressure in the whole world because the Soviet Union had collapsed. And the East-West dichotomy na weakened kakra. Everybody was pushing for democracy. And Sana, after 11 years of the PNDC and the selling off of over 350 state enterprises, Kumasi I say, near bought industrial league, I'm from Indafa. We are met to bomb place, LL, KBL, Nina Juma, shoe factory, jute factory, no more football teams. At that time, the football was largely amateur. Intina, Ombo football, na nomsa, esana banks, no, Akofa omo, no more Juma kakra ho, no more scientific. Was a bank league and Dafa league, one kind of Kumasi. And that's right. No more league table, you know. Enti, Emrante ne atore bi ampese mo kaise binimu samye free. Ibinimu ehwere yankwa. Ibi dwane ko amanone eko exile. Ansana kebima min kebi ebetinti. Nti one man na kasa MPP ne NDC adekro na nya adekro. Our forefathers fought for democracy and then can you see a Lawson radio as a TV. Na e ba ko pe Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. Na sata na me abrante the youngest 25-year-old na me hosted sports highlights for Ghana. I will be a real. Intimidate me a celebrity in them. At I know me a brandy am hofe kakra. So, enti ye can we nyina na ye can dey abisi asem so say ne wo hwe party politics na ebinumu eye no te se de sebi e adidie no contribution no chop. Politics is not about chopping. Yen free the lexicon mukra. It's about service. To me, I mount my political career on what I call the Triple S doctrine. So bit me assume mind through cool. I won't expect anything in return. So bit you do what I bought a foray. Now on your pessimin kumya. When I talk about service, sacrifice, and selflessness. Now the vision is to rebuild a country. On Maya, you bet me a place emphasis on mobilizing our productive capacity. Sebi Ghana for omonim die ankra juma ye be encourage omnia build our productive capacity to replace our dependence on importation. Yes, right. Ye bibia ne yekra abekrom ha. Enunti ama ejuma abeye asem. Na ni nyina abekwa akosi ya. It dwells on one point, which is my major point of my 6-point plan for Ghana, which has to do with land reform. Ikrumha, yensasi sem, ye land administration eto sinikasi. If you go to the course, saturated with several thousand cases, a beard 20 years, a beard we really need to sanitize our land administration. My main aim will be land reform in this country. Also to make sure that the titling of land as a tool to release capital. Abusuya biya wo ade nyame digya omo wasase. Ancestral lands to be protected and ownership given to the real owners of the land. Yes, me ne utifia na yes agudie bia ba ha. Yes, yentum free ha no bitin cry. Na watro krata e dia lease ama China ni na broni bi. No about betu no the call. We've practiced over 100 years of mining in this country. And so go to the mining areas, Obuasi, Takwa, Bogoso, Pristia, Huni Valley, and all you see is devastation, poverty, and penury. When the young people were promised prosperity and jobs. So, then here that political will to be able to have the courage to take unpopular decisions. So, when you are elected president, you are there to serve the interests of all of Ghana, not only your party faithful. Of course, you say, Akokoba, Oben, Unya, Abebese. So, of course, there are advantages to be gained when you have a party in power. But I think that right now, Adia Ghana is this stridently divisive posture of this country. Yayema ene. Abe interfere with even our public services, which in my view is overly politicized. Nti eyemi nwanwa se aban sisan is where you say, these are public services that belong to the state of Ghana. And to me, one of my major points is to restore professionalism and meritocracy back to the public services. Now, you reduce our politicization. Yes, we recognize Article 71, Emma Omampeni Akwenya, to appoint the heads of these state organizations. But they can do with little tinkering. So on them, Sean. Because me so anami ye Juma, Ghana Highway Authority as a young civil engineer. Your dream say your chief executive. Bo humoding to progress. So our colleagues in Volta River Authority and GMPC and Agyapong, all those major entities like Ghana Gas and SNET nomniade. And who have the institutional memory and capacity to run those organizations. Those organizations will become better, more efficient if we have people who know it to run it. So now we have over-politicized these things, presidents after presidents. But yes, or appointed chief executive. You can even appoint people from within. But even if you decide to bring from the outside, get people who are competent, who are knowledgeable, not political hacks. You earn the respect of the organization. So, very important. And those are things that me feel say high. Now, say crowd here, they attract not only the public organizations, the area security services, which worsens the thing. To come and wipe out over 20 of our top generals on the basis of appointing a new CDS who is much, much junior. I think that is not acceptable. It's not right. Because media Mampeni Kufu Amesum no wanyasa. Me kai say later. In fact, with the police say you better police near no BS no kroma. No IGP. No DBNI director many years before. Watch chimpeni fu be atum. So on them show. So when Kufu became president, he allowed Namfuri to complete his term. Na kanikakra. Owie. No more Usupoku was next in line. So be we any day. And son Usunsia. And son Ekokosia Champo. So, and some of the when you do that, you protect the sanctity and the respect of the establishment. Now, President Obama neba hano kase, let's build strong institutions, not strong individuals. Because institutions no ne here. Now say we share the akoso judiciary. Intini papani. Me when I was running last time, I said say me nyankopon ya madom NPP 40 mase no mo to abama me. Na me be candidate Ghana for Shirasu na be president. I will put in a cap on the Supreme Court. Because the Supreme Court is one of the three legs of our democracy. Executive no there every 4 years. You call Ghana for no more idiompe. The same with the parliament. Judiciary no pena yes a year a bastion be a mayen tachi. Na yen nyina ye ho kamu a ho na ye betimi akọ. So akwagin kwantre and be our shield. So now those days now make us say, look, I think we should put a cap on the Supreme Court. In year 22, when I started talking about these things, that made me choir. America can see a crime somebody 9 or something. And I think we can do 9 or 11. Now, you remove even the 70-year limit. Because, Lord, you need to now more experience. And then, Juma said, it is engineering on the NAM site. And they say they grow better like wine. Me, I mean, you are penny anemia boy. The last time, because I knew that one day was hopa. And so, Obetima Yejuma. Wood, Obetima Yejuma. So, and media say, president, I'll move towards removing that 70-year cap and letting them run till when they are health-wise unable to continue. Idru baby na hoden na pomodin ontimi me through aye adwuma there, then we can say obetimi akọ. And no, it will reduce the opportunities for presidents to appoint. Now me say NDC for opposition. Say Nanado pack court. Nanado krampo there. To be fair to him, na se vacancy bar no afele. No on appointee be or chairman vacancy bar. But hono kra no me criticizing the kakra say ka vacancy back onyai na ade no nteso amra medru 11 and I bibi am feel say a country of 35 million we need. But where the wa criticizes I will buy at a go in one fell swoop 7 justices of the Supreme Court. Yes bia vacancies be appears. There's some nam sense 21 or say 20. Minti bida. Uko appeal courts any high courts the MCNA one kasakra nenkeye. Matis is 40 judges were saying, is that correct? I haven't looked at the figures, which I find disappointing. So right now, what position are you are criticizing the president or tainted the judiciary with politics? You have done about 4 or 5 times worse in 9 months. That's not how to run a country. Intermediate, me feel say emrenaso for this country to usher in a new dawn, a new politician, a new dimension, and a new direction. And I think Kwabena Agyapong, I stand ready to offer that kind of leadership, a better public spirited, that is dedicated, that is nationalistic. Say, yes, I'm a true patriot of our country, and you do things in the interest of Ghana.
You know, reason why it should be you. But what makes you different? This is not going to be the first time I want to be a different person. I want to do things this way, that way. But what makes you stand out?
Kwame, because me dem yobia me fan say ekunu atitime from Nkola Abrim. I've been tutored through a process. To say Dr. Donko Fojono, to say Aram Ponsanum, to say BJ Darochanum, to say Kuman Petunum, to say Stephen Kreku, A.K. Deku, Amesimeku, Tomia Metopo, Ukosema, Muru Salifu, Owo, Boko, Oba, Alaji Shakunum, Wa, Bin Sali, Roland Alassan, Alaji Si Opinum. Obia ni wa men hunu ene na nanti ene na ndidi.
Lawson FM.
Because me na me abranti. And so I've seen omu values, omu fama. Ade ane drive on politically say ombe make sure say party no beba power na kabima men kabi atintim wo man mu. So obeton ho ade kra na ode be ya ode be ye. So wo ka jemfi bi kai. So enti sa ahofama no ene ubeka se everywhere ene usmo obi kura so onkobo poster na ohwe wanim
na me bi kakra
adea ha oman bia ni ho odi ye disikasi ye ni so a etimi chichiri ni ye only 80 years ago ukasa chenso na nche the whole world was in rains after the World War II 1945-46 Germany na dafam Japan it was in ashes after the atomic bombs were dropped. But look at them now. Built back up by leaders. They had pride in working and not expecting anything in return. So, intimidate some penifo ambetu woma ebikure wuye ansana 2000 year ba power. Nanso hu oma ho keka omode som ekuo no a enum na abehye mimu a me feel say me maya brantia, I have transitioned that development all over the last 40 years. Me de na me wo ho ti me hu omo and as I say me fan se manyi kakra nti mpese me je bibi man chirima no. This campaign provides a platform for me to showcase what was good about politics and to return to our noble roots when it was a noble calling to be a politician. Na enko bane se yes man se Kwabena to say na ya appoint to say we minister uko vetting kra na amanfo atutuntuma na edi chinie na edi diwachi sense and create an impression so ka se bibi wo na debre ye ko bo se kodi nso wan hwe ya you lose focus. Oh, nti me hwe NDC appointee bia na e ma reho kakra. I thought say yen I certain mistakes and make na me THD na me nka ho na me mpe. You learn so quickly. Ne bi cry worse. And the minister be a cry motorcade. When did that start? What time nentisa? I was press secretary to the president. It's the rank of a cabinet minister. Manfa moto and free me fiang. Na kojo mpianim na motor bi hono chief of staff no. Obe drive kone no ambashe castle. Where musakra won tese o sha. To oba de bi ani ho. And it was used in exceptional cases. Be a president here will be na a timely mumfa moto nkofa we mra. Defense minister Kwame Adokufo Tiasi. Mean Kaise no use motorcade.
Defense minister.
Yes. No use motorcade. Wow. So enti me Kaise IGP our best start use motorcade. M said that a year usun siam ko no tie chire. Not adenta. And I'm say omuma dispensation say but it wasn't for obia the flags in Israel no disturb It's not good. The country should be run properly. Say who represent or minor. Ese who the nkofo femu. Bra omo femu no hom de akwa adwuma da bia na wadwe om ho ye se wokotena ho a. Ene nipa ekọ adwuma me kai say power is san ebinum ko adwuma na nkofo di moto credit wonchi. We have overly politicized political appointments to national institutions. The fact that president appointed one does not make you a partisan appointee. You still work for the nation of Ghana. So it is true a political party now also, but once you enter into government and you swear for all of Ghanaians. Into that nationalistic posture and everywhere be very partisan. I been create me cause we need the secretaries nyina enko organization be organizers nyina enko fa we. I have always ruled against that. We cannot overly politicize this country. An institution to say NADMO, National Disaster Management Organization. Counterpart America, a friend of FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency. DEFRA, UK. You go and see qualified technical people because you are talking about disasters. To be able to predict, plan, and mitigate the effect of surveyors, engineers, planners. So, parties and you can appoint people who have been trained properly into these positions rather than just partisan or party hacks. And yet, Papa, we will lose our statehood. Nancy Musa and this will be Bora Agapo as Omoko take over. Yeah. This is a very technical engineering institution. Can you run VRA? Can you run ECG? And TCN cannot crunch a party for no. Yes, and build the economy. To say them can. Once we mobilize the productive forces in this country, especially along the President Akufo-Addo here, Golden Bean, they say which they here. The Dow inaugurated Tree Crop Development Authority. Now me count 20 before the 2020 election. Sadly, say it's a very important thing because there are a lot of serious tree crops. You bet me a value chain no edi ejuma aba. Na you be encouraging. What I want to know is when we set up such state entities, after how many years now, what targets were they set? Edi no more to me achieve by now. Apart from some motiwa omutua omhoka to talk as it nemu. Ya nunti ne ka say me yes ejuma. By now, kesi nya be at least 10 businessmen. Omafa cashew, ana rubber, ana palm. They are major plantations. So them na yenya womo so a etimi set up factories. Be processing the output from these plantations so that we allow production to take over from just raw importation. So these are ideas I'm determined to make sure the transformation of this country becomes a reality. And that's what I'm passionate about. And no titruntina. But they may see you say, "Many Ghana for Kasa." Because near MPP in Kwana me pese me di anymore. I want to be president of this country because I'm passionate about transforming this country. And I mean, so my ways is no Ghana for omutiasem. They are law abiding. Nemum omutimisha wa udi enimuno. She say who did here? And that is what is happening in this country. And so we should have straight-faced political leaders. You bet me actually Ghana for when him say you have to live within your means. You ain't mean cause there be your budget, your expenditure, something your revenue. Until you hey Kwame, secure the man, and then now so the high dine, the trade the show. Until we have to build a society where we have a livable wage. Said the president Kufo Kaino. We pretend to be paying people and they pretend to be working. So, because me to me know what I the people them and they actually say you find so high dying, you find so high or normal ordinary person high dying age you say be 1,000 a month. Now we did the or mamma fancy tour saying our best spending. We bet me calculate it at me arrive at a figure be a livable and it's a no now ye demawa ubet media and live in dignity. So with them children. Nyese bibia burusu biao, just basic. So those are the things I'm determined to work for. The third, cut down the waste in the public system. Atrocious public procurement in this country. Adi esi we say a milk drink. Say a ton of 5 cedis. I would ma buying si or pebiato. The bema buying 20 cedis. And nobody will say anything. We have some of the most expensive roads per kilometer in Africa. I'm a civil engineer of some wide experience, and I know what I'm talking about. So, there be a percent dream is the public treasury that we are messing up. And instead of allowing it to release funds for other sectors of the economy, we need to impose order and discipline, and that's my fifth point. Ensure, say, regard and respect for rules and regulations. We enforce it. We attach a very strong penalty regime. So when there are infractions, say you pay a big price. Now, Omaya, every year after year after year, the Obetiane say, Auditor General, the report about Sikasi ya Sikasi ya faha. And so, say, ya punish you be that. And at the end of the I don't believe in wasting all your time looking backwards. So you can make an example of 1 or 2 significant people. Because Ghana, asemsi ani akofa do chef no na yako punish no. And so the head of the establishment, no, he walks free. What is important to set example with the people at the top, and no, who say we are dedicated and you have zero tolerance for corruption. Those are the kinds of things, the kind of leadership I want to lead this country with. And of course, the regeneration of our urban environment.
All right.
City etino enyefe Kwame. And ajumebe kumasi miswa ye umeha hana miko school. And sana miko secondary school. Royal International opposite TI Media Stadium echiho. Na miswa so ye tikrofrom. So ti miso me yekobolo kakra. Ye nantini ekoso ami yekohebo ne aba base park. Ne ade. Nti minim de we na Kumasi.
Yeah.
Ye boku ne ba stadium. E ba beto se children's park wo kwem ho no atran ho no ahome. And then all the greenery in this country is being wiped out. Near the brick and mortar. On my we no Nyankopon obo nua kransa na obo nipa o. See Adam call any friend say ne garden mu no. Garden mu no enti se wo betwa dua me so de my postgraduate engineering degrees in environmental engineering when I studied in the University of Surrey in Guildford in the UK. Enti me are very passionate about green things. Say ye tick room hana ye garden city. Ne Madam Fubika say they say ukuba Kumasi a dan bia ya share space to say what I said okay just say who say a dan can say sisi kuma don't say ase no ya extension bi I said obviously I share no space okay is have mysteries enti so called extensions to almost everything niabubo nuya niema very unsightly architects because aesthetically impure So these are things that worry us as a country. Our planning requirements are not respected. And again, I pay a sandodo. Town and country planning. It's simple. Aware, easily to identify. Who had the chrome? And the course says, consultant near Tuaniska. No, of course, land use and spatial be it's a necessary sana. Miaminia, Ebesesa, be an I brand, so I NIB. NIB is a bank. And so called FBI and CIA. What is in the name? Nagana de Bia near SMBB. The Abambia now assistant be no the Bia. I mean, we should stop that. And I think 10 years ago, when I was General Secretary, I made this point on hot issues with Kwesi Pratt. I believe that 19 ministries should be 19 cabinet ministries should run this country. And I have consolidated all of them into those 19. And that should have one deputy minister, 38. And you add it to the 16, you can run this country with 54 ministers. Yes, why? And the president or one vice president. And the president or vice president be the entire minister or deputies be. There are technical people there who are supposed to do the work. Ministerial leadership is policy leadership and management, not even technical leadership. That is why you have directors, chief directors, and technical directors under you. No ministers nefo. No munyai eye service no. Oh eye service no. Ye mama nhwe. Na your friends and nimu. Because how is it that there are certain projects, I mean as a civil engineer, up till now, I cannot understand the justification and the rationalization. One who start train a EBIN from Tema to Impakadaya. And the way you raise the embankment, the cost to the country and to the economy, a kind of debt. For how many years? One who say train faster. And I say, oh, project, when say train, no, a faster maybe once or twice a day. Why should you raise an embankment and have a great separation and have overheads, which cost us big money? Keep it me, I said the whole circle because I make once a day and not twice a day there. Chema, na pulu gates ni down. Na chem traffic a train. Eko we na page abroche ya na sabebre. Na engineers me aminu o mati me advising minister and our government at the time. No it me raising embankment. It has completely changed the drainage regime in those communities since you twa. Na ebinum fie num aye flooded. So a lot of things are both a mix of technical and political. And that's why I want to restore professionalism and meritocracy to our public services. And we should hold ourselves responsible, we the technocrats. So come home. And I'm director of Ghana Institution of Engineering. Mekai say, we a technocrat, na minister, now we need the right advice to give the person. Throw down. Nefa komano. Say overrule that you have something to show. Say, oh, I advised this way, but he had the political authority to take the final decision. And Kwame, Omaino, where we are now, we are not in a good place.
Right.
I don't like the direction we are going, and I think it's time for us to recalibrate our thinking and see about what politics is and what governance is. It's about service. To improve their livelihoods. So that people come and within years they are building apartments and schools and other things. It is wrong and we have to condemn it. And if we, the political leaders, don't do it, I don't know who would do it. I was in government before. I didn't do that. I didn't take advantage of my position. I was very close to the then president to abuse it and acquire wealth. I didn't do that because Enyad Sani etete me.
Right.
Timijidis as a party for, and Ghana for, we have a new generation leader, Obesi Samomayana. I believe Ghana can be transformed in a matter of years.
Okay.
Now, I mean, Mekai said, prior to the 2024 elections, internal primaries are more the super delegates and men qualify to the mainstream.
I
want to look at something.
That's right.
They said, "Dear common yedi, I'm was this time round a day."
I moved for some changes in the constitution. Media, na me feel say yemie, electoral college. And that's so many to be sending me document. Or mama dream kakra. He also has a point. unse woko Britain no ma Conservative Party no omo we om select om leader. So omo group bi om fu say omo nim de omo ye most of the thing and sana omo de akwabonten. Every country and theirs. My feeling was that look, woman nipa kakra bi na it gets to a point that ultimately will be manipulating nipa kakra na because super delegates omo ye 800. The way are not on my ni mo ye kakra ni mo aiding. Na se obi kura sika. No so obeto 500.
We are in it.
Oh win it.
Okokra.
So obetima to nipa 500 nipa 500 no so ka so obemo obi even 50,000. Obetimi enya sika no. So I thought say ebe hadwin. And no can when I move for that party no accepting ye yi sa super efrio. Me ka say nka ye ma obi a wasum party no da. Me dem ya me feel say omo esum party na omo odobi ma party no. Omo risk especially from 1992. Omo de ho abafore into ono no nye sika no na besesa no. And a presidential elections nipa ne doso a sika na say na ade be ma no. Besesa na shebre. Wa ma no an 200, 300, 400, 500. And when se nipa shebre, will be tam 50,000 ma na and there e betimi a confuse you. Tina me ka say super delegates no ye nyim free o. Me that party as so much team as with when na me feel says and all the former polling station executives I dare so her party in say polling stations me general secretary me the book be by say me pese ye share party no article 3 na talks about membership ese tembia na review membership na face so mu ye meetings party no ye meetings ye twa elections beba na ye beto aba na nipa bi di America. We a polling station executive. No, Jumane say obeto aba. We Jumane say una be lead the party's advocacy. E wo baby out.
Oh no.
Nti sen kola enyini ye be register on posters. One MPP ni, one MPP ni, one na obetimi a convince. Ye mo adwuma. Na ekoba ne say party no any source adwuma no nti ye say ye to aba mo amoye say adwuma. Mo na mbeto. Ene ye frɛ mo delegates afede omo refi omo adwuma na de omo ni so no ene omo frɛ omo ho delegates ma and say interview akola because o nyina obey MPP delegate. There is no such position as delegate in the party's constitution anyhow. So na koba no sa anya presidential no kra ya na hu ho parliamentary no say parliamentary no a restricted area be a nipa 1,500 enti obi timi so was wato TV 1,000 na wache. The next day will be out of fridge 1,000. No wakoche. Also, Kumasi and Ghana na yet communal houses. Me MPP ni, usu MPP ni, just that way a polling station executive. Ukoba now the TV aba. Ukoba wouldn't my bro ye. Ukoba would the fridge aba. Na me yusu kwa hwe yiri nkwan mu a enam na ADF rusani ehuru mi. Obahem say, na kwabran wo party no uka ho. Edru se wo koto aba. Afi osi ye nyina nkoye adwuma na ohwe onim din eno no 2 million na anto aba amaye no e ka ho kese pa se yan krofo anko to aba because and apart from that me am be general secretary me am krom secretary na me kom ho odwaben na uze ho no da bia ntokwa o mamponsem ho aguna po de ya na ho ye kumawu ejuso Dwaben Mensia North MP Weba no I be Canana no yi nkrofobia from so the nkrofo abeshim. To stop all that, when I became general secretary I printed 40,000 polling station books. So every polling station be a enfa book back on to register mobile meeting obi anshro ni din enshro date enshro obi ayi. And a polling station meetings normally nipa be 20 25 when you cry 30 most places unya cry. So ekoba sa they will manage themselves. Mean tia say a polling station election yes it will be free region and will be free hana ebe supervise omo na tie be ni meetings omo na nim ye ho enti na obekọ polling station no obi o onte ho ye de na betra so meto abama obi MPB pe and chairman bi pe so sanko bi onti no no ma ye nti amaye polling station arrangement no aye poisoned kakra. Ti na me feel sense nke ye omo gi tum de me kan na wo mo afiri mu no nyina na ko betime nya voting right nti otif abontia ne yem ye ne ya say ye yine free he has been schemed out and I see word be see word be about party me as friend mafia was a day yeah started party man to the word mafia and so it was a mafia no and yet word papa we nya yusu kra me mo so
my mimi say yo it's kasam a hard drink yeah TV just last week I get an interview
and last week
along the line say
development fee so I worry too much
they made me can say yeah, I don't want to even go back there because we've been able to reach some amicable solution. I'm part of the race. I'm on the ballot. Me, I said it even to the vetting committee. Me was suspension as general secretary. Me mobilize this guy at the Boa party.
Yeah, I remember.
So okay.
This is
me discuss Boa. Na me tifie. Yes, my man can. So me say no. Me na me general secretary. Me one more. One ho chire me catch them na for kakra me de kakra na me de ko Boa. Enti say ope. The whole concept of development fee no cry. It came say yen ne per se protect MPs no. Ko MP no on kan. Obo no obi win dua won na feature. Enti you feel say MP no within that 4 years no or ko year or to fundaka or yese or enema. Enti the oba challenge ni hu say won na cha constituency ni dia to bibi for the development of the party. That's how it came about. A presidential primary. Obi ame party time we are say ehu ye pe obi atra national television so 1992 no me na me akola say dem penifo but na ehu krofo nwuma rolling say gu no omo adwane kwa abrochire dem penifo meeting ye no Dr. Safo Dufie wo is Lagos Haruna Ataya ne wakodi baabi a say we ambassador no timbi o ka publicity committee on editor of Statesman Jacob Echibilamte and chairman of the publicity committee Hackman and their council now would meeting numbi in the year penipa. Penny for a castle be as in Trasiana Bacos a Kwabena wa brandy and the idea Dutch a shewonsa. And tis a mokaya be an amususa 92 a brandy pa namit national televisions. Miss me Ajmo Benjamin Nipa is Satani or Soja Bemo in Yanko transition. Soja is or Darban so or say oh Jinebi. TSO Kojina TV so now we are campaign Tiano. Catch the Ghana for some mamon too much Jenny. Oh, the curfew in your mapia behind Montuma Professor Dubois. Unia Kukudro. Uni ahon fama. Dear my friend a sacrifice. And to me can't and some Americana. Mean canake. It's not words. It's the life that I have led in this country and in this party for everybody to see. So, Enti Kwabena sana Ntina I disagreed with that whole thing. But a party. I respect my party. I disagree with them, but we reached an amicable solution, and that's behind us.
General, do you see unity after these internal primaries?
That is why I think I'll be the most viable candidate. Me, BC, my brabum, emphasize unity. 92 and ye can rante young executives, near D, Safwoodwich. Your call Congress, you Lucy, at the Chien or dear call Professor Dubois in Fee. Enna, or can you in in Tina Miss, although man supported Professor Dubois during the primaries, Mina Namity TV Swa. Me Casamano. I was doing the party political broadcast at the time when it was life threatening to be identified with the party. 98, Muamokai, Mina mi dear Kufuadu and ye launching in campaign war and cry, Ebenezer, Hall, a war Presbyterian Usu. Nam Pijan sa the next president of the Republic of Ghana. Nana Ado Danko Kufuadu. For the first time, Nipan Dudona friend Nana do no Monte Ado Danko. Now chronicle the Renaissance man. So you could do Sunyai and Mr. Kufuadu from City. Kufu Ankase ye di Akufuadu and me and Kwe baby. Satam na laji nusa eko and this intina fake in a campaign manager Jake. Unmejuma in a year from a Dubois in time. Two of them Kwabena Berane communications. Ni position called I wasn't given a title, but I was the de facto director of communication of that campaign and the party at the time. To the extent said that ye twaba. Enka Kufo bit me akase boy one support to me. But when you did you say abranti was some party, Mijinidi call electoral commission. ne kohwe mabaso
anytime
okay I hear you feeling the champion here
Rojo
anytime he enters and he goes out
and you 2008 cry we 2007 cry na make I mean I'm a phone free Mampeni at that time when you Mampeni say Misakufo you are now elected as the president na me see me to the dinner a course in fear because me na me Kwame say strong room me friend no
other that are not parties in your most strong.
Enti me na me who figures no na niam bi e course am mu see awe na awie so enso so be a president wan ka say onya de openti no me kra de ko baby o ma press secretary say ne ba of am say ne ba otu a na matiem say White House no kwa meeting nchen Buckingham Palace a meeting nchen Imperial Palace of Pekin say Tokyo meeting nchen baby a so timisua asa nyansa no free ne ho say enkabom enidie kasapa onso obi a okaya de wetima fro kwabra free Sunday mama what time that is the party chairman no ono pass matie o Ghana ha onko national security for obe friend the chairman no be kan say be kan no kire me chief driver no ma na wo yendi wo ha na wa frɛ wo opani adu sɛ odete ase kumawu chairman nana sabri de we film asarbedi akonom pani sɛ mensa so afrim manhia chairman so ho dem show no we ye ne Crawford so nya duru kuma sɛ no mu nyina ba be catch sɛ no de ekoso wo fom bia nti ohu na this kind of enti na make unity no na me kra kai sɛ 2020 me kra na mo suspension sɛ Akufo-Addo be frɛ me me ne ko Ghana nyina buano ye woni ye say ye bobodi media amba man kasa ntia party no da because me feel say obiya say respect party no na e bo party no ho ban me I'm very uncomfortable so be can bibi e de tia party no so of course any maybe enko ya itimi ka no kwampa so entimi ntia say binom ye campaigner ensem o mo ka no they said the omo de ammunition ama NDC say ewia NDC phantomoy but me nka obi a ho asembone ntina me feel say party for so mutie me here me obi a me ne Akufo-Addo aye adwuma me ne Kufo aye adwuma me ne Adubo aye adwuma na 20 a year na okay manya bi first round na man ko support the party for no pen me ne call round that time na ebinu kikam na showdown na say na we so jai we so say ne ade me si dabi de ayifo ye kire me the Kufo ye in 1998 the Adubo ye in 1992 kire say to abawia ye with all the imperfections no ye say we a party ni we are a patriot of the MPP there I say we better the dodo no ato ababa no me na me wen a me expect to be a better me enti me ta na chi kwampa so ne ko Ghana nyina enti me na se me wen am se ba o me anu so obetima better me chi easily obia o mbia no ye obia me ni no me ni obia ni asem na mmomu hwe de ekoso wo ye platform so ne nsem wo ekoso social media bi no special television stations bia omte dem tutuma ne wo ho na me dem de two party for no for so mo penka bompa if you want the unifier Kwabena Agyapong will be the glue to hold together this party and deliver victory in 2028 and the two minom sem na wo muntie nyese afie we na wo ha na ogudu we na ebuso me so me ko ba bia me ye question and answer na makashiro on say omusi o na say mo so nam se hwan na wo so mo na mo to aba mo ni mo edi nsamane wo party no tine ye wo nipa ye to obi adin wo mo ye niema emfata name and shame so enti mo to aba ma sa nipa na mo to ma me ha me de ani die to ho acha ye adwumaden se mo ye party for delegates na mo so mo nim se mo adwumaden it should be rewarded then set an example by rewarding hard work. So we understand next time obi ba o me kensem a emfata ana ensem a ebegu party ne ho fi ntimi de masem ye kakra bi
okay
de metimi ayanse mesre nyame na menye sika kakra de atopetru we na mu enya asem keto de na okay kan feso no se nka ukọ constituency bia na wetimi Asia delegates 1500 enso 100 cities cry 150,000 one constituency one multiply it by 270.
47.
47. The way I'm a bear, who call every constituency one spending ground 20 to 30,000 multiply by 40. You are crossing a million. And yes, Kakitwa. And no crown, and no crown can say, oh, mom, 200, so and Fakao. So, enti, and ya dear Daffo, enti, a boafo, Tania Humachi, me friend Benavo for, shall be said, do you hear, Mumwamin and Maduk was it, mean, Bissimi, Namako Hafo, Namako, Western North, a bank. So, has ya, a Jakumasi de Mufio, Hunty, Minko da Hotel, Mokakasi. There, enti, the Mr. Party for no say, Omonkai bre, Omonkai omo bre. Me so de, mo pubia, Yachina bosso or party more. Me can say, Ubi anywhere or go through that. And so, my name, and party no that my
resilience commitment towards the new patriotic party, the sacrifice that you've done for the party, no a word study.
No Crawford.
Oh yes, a word study. This is not the first time I'm saying this, because you see some of us along the line, sorry say be a cover.
Oh yeah,
along the line obey a general secretary. DC, it will be man. Me a problem already, so I'm not sure you heard of it, but me a problem already. Why? Because I questioned a certain statement that was made. Say, you were the general secretary. You should have prevented your chairman from. And because of that, why a bonnet? And
now the hard drink crown says, Nen Sam so enya no crack.
You see,
Enya no crack.
Not when you ask, how do you win
one casa?
Not a way.
Hey,
Mantiso no be banta, Mantiso no be a way, Mantise, none will be coming, Mantise. What you know, be a say, what fool. Yes, the last time I interviewed you, I questioned you. Do you still have pains? You woman become say so if I ask you that question, it means me know the kind kasama who pains me na make you still have never have any pain here woman. That's what you said to me.
Yeah.
I still remember I was back Angela. That's what you said to me.
Say we are say ofa ya omu na usa me dey true me
96.3
Kwame papa faso free mu na me struggle co school tech na me dey na kakra bia baby a obeda de obedi kra oni bi me kwa brochire first me bo bosin from nipa 3 sata na Ghana was just 6,000 skadada ba ko me bo 2,000 madam for before America on the edu baby na ade na ede no na e ko ni ma me ho ba crash na o ska bi she dem pass no de ma me na me so na me kwa brochire me nyese me ko keke me kwa ko bo adwuma na menya kakam de betua na bia kam na me de akọ school nyesa school of course that time na etie kakra because nye mo aduane ne ne makaka nyesa anka education kwa kam ndimi anwie so ho enti enunte ma me hu ye din enti na me share politics mu ntem no because I wanted to see the back of those who committed those heinous crimes. Enti election e share me pa 92 enye ne de could do one here and win 4 days. Me kakra na me baby si obi na de bi kofi so enti ene me tun kola na fo na me hwe o musu ni e ban na o mu kasa basa eni die yen Ghana for the tie se obi anyin sin wa o ma wa no entra no woni ne wo issue kra wo betimi aka kwampa so na wa kire wadwen nso ene Munkola ibiti TV so dim penim for atem di ahim for atem chese enema ekoso no odwen ho a enye intermediate me no I don't suffer fools. I'm a very firm tough character nenso so abufu madam for me a doctor me na me the best man no catch him say me come me starting medical school na Miss Romogent na me switch call it will made me now for na doctors and o catch him say who squeeze when ma bufu a who use 45 muscles so boa me me boa o say who use less 15 muscles
okay
now I've heard something like that
so me na manim na mbubefu manyinya manim there me kai say papa no police ni bi they say them so free friend Sergeant Allo na o corner bi o Kuku Hill opposite baby a Professor Mills do be ne office na Harrison ya fie ho no ne o tokro bi said mimisa tata na me be from 4 and from 30 awia mpapa okot no mama ya ba papa kokwa na mtinikam ya ba no makosha obepia no mu na nanim na no shine se no mko bukakra etimi ya kwa na mbusa se ne die na ukoba da bia na wamu na wanim sa no simi akola mi ya na mse so obenom ensa no mu na wanim dia ntimi se ensa nya dia because me wudi ade denkume so dem cho ne ade a enyu no enti se emuna ene abufuo me buntemfu ena ansa na mbubefu no once and cry back very easily.
And because since Kufuor's time to date, I've never heard this man insult anyone in this country before. I really like him. I haven't seen him before.
Oh.
I pray one day I meet him.
Oh.
A victory is his. Richard. Oh, Stadium Sobulu.
Oh, hey.
No.
Can't you say mo Kumasi enti so who on the number no send them no my friend no.
Let's say Agyapong is an icon in our party. He is one of the most truthful person in the party. We wish him well. Or say why is he not meeting all delegates rather constituency executives? I mean, watch him a brain continue. Comrade Agyapong, I want to ask you whether you know late Alhaji BK Adama from the Upper West region.
Of course.
Okay. And also
Former Interior Minister Buzia time.
Okay.
No nyini ye kro bank na me kostra no to New Town. Ne man be a man for say America say.
Okay. Embassy I say. Dira. You better sit down for we.
Na dey me call Asante Achim anopay awie 12 o'clock.
Okay.
12:30 na me no machia. 3 constituencies na ho no. Mfua na me call me am krum search for Kumawu from Plains Fijase ene adwoso no dwaben be hia wo dwaben say your party office kase bi ho. And me we wachinam se me call amanse the kwai na masan akọ adanse asokwa akohia omo wo ho ye chiche ne sa oboasefo na nka ese mehia omo ochina so chairman no de ibi excuse bi aba minimum de cro na mse okay na ebetu omo hyeda
Next time
oboase east and west na akrofo mpena and he feels that says Saturday wo finso 96.3 beshia ena atwemafo no so ewo abuakwa
right
nti eguso ye ne kakra ne mamponfo no so ye beshia omo agona
all right. You know that's it.